Article, Howard Stern pretty much saying he lost his edge. What's new? Of course he did. He's just taking SiriusXM's money right now and just running. He has nothing left to offer. Howard's End is the name of the article by John Quartz. I can trust John Quartz. Shock Jock Stern has lost his sting and his mojo from the New York Post. He lost his fucking sting and mojo many, many years ago when he turned his back on everything that made him very, very famous and popular. And then he wanted to be known as an interviewer. Man, I want to be known as one of the biggest interviewers ever, one of the best and biggest. Ronnie B's better than him. I don't know who else. I was gonna give you a whole list of people that are better at interviewing than Howard. Stopped at Ronnie B. No, why? Because who cares? I pride myself on doing a damn good interview, but I'm not gonna sit here and pat myself on the back and try to become the greatest interviewer of all time. Yuck! God, if you do this for a living, of course you're good at interviewing people. He stinks. But he's a very, very wealthy man. But he never got his ego in check, so he's going to be miserable for the rest of his fucking days, that Howard Stern. Stern, 67, renewed his contract with SiriusXM last December, signing for 5 years at a reported $120 million per year, and he's miserable. Can you imagine making over $100 million a year? This article says $120 million a year, and you're still miserable? This is incredible considering he works 3 days a week, Monday through Wednesday, broadcasting maybe 3 hours per day, about 112 shows per year with 253 days off. Wow, that's a salary of over $1 million per show. Am I jealous? 100%. But that's why SiriusXM stinks. They give all the money to one fucking guy, and so many talented people had to leave and go find work elsewhere. And then when Howard finally leaves for good, they have nothing left. What are they going to just run Howard Stern reruns all day long, every day? They never had a business model past Howard Stern. And those fucking executives over there make stupid money. I would walk up and down the hallway, and they all were in glass box offices, and you could see them from the hall. And you could see they weren't doing anything. As long as Howard was successful and all his and his huge fan base was, paying their monthlies, that's all they cared about. Oh God. Yes, I'm jealous. Isn't that insane? And then, me and Anthony back in the day, we were considered the second biggest show at SiriusXM. We had to fight for every stupid penny and dollar raise. And they would just dump money on Howard year after year. Look, it worked for him, you know what I mean? But it's too bad because when I first signed with XM, it was incredibly exciting. There was so many creative minds working on satellite radio. They all knew it was just different and fun, and anything pretty much goes. And then that stupid fucking merger wrecked everything. But then again, Mel Karmazin, this is a little too inside for people, but Mel Karmazin had to make that merger happen because satellite radio was failing, and the only way to succeed was to bring the two companies together. And then there was a power struggle when the two companies came together. It was Sirius versus XM, and Sirius won because they had the bigger show with Howard Stern, and they wiped out all these executives that were really, really creative. And they were left with executives that had no business doing anything in radio management. They were all failed executives and failed radio show hosts. As long as they had Howard, though, that's all that mattered. Those executives will retire with a lot of fucking money. And then that satellite radio will absolutely go bye-bye. NB Mike 65. Howard joined satellite radio to revolutionize the industry, but once he started kissing Rosie O'Donnell's ass after years of hating on her, the Howard the world knew was gone. I couldn't agree with you more. Look, I've gone through a lot of changes in my life, in my career, but if you don't acknowledge those changes and make believe you were never that other guy, your audience is gonna fucking eat you alive. He needed to explain some of the changes he went through in his life, and he never did that. And that's why a lot of his fan base turned their backs on him. There's nothing wrong with changing. I think if you live a long enough life, you're going to go through some pretty dramatic changes. But you got to acknowledge your past, and you got to explain, especially if you're in the public eye. Like, for example, man, I'm not the same guy when I was working with the Opie and Anthony show, but I don't have any regrets. Maybe a couple if I sat down and really thought about it, but overall, I don't have any regrets. That was me. But Howard made believe that he never was that shock jock, guy that lived in the gutter and lived in a basement, basically. And then he had all his people re-editing his old material to make believe it never even fucking happened. Oh my God. The emergence of great podcasts definitely killed Howard. Brett Latchman. I'm so bad at last names. That didn't help, but he allowed everyone to surpass him. Joe Rogan is way more popular than Howard Stern, and that eats Howard Stern alive. It doesn't matter how much fucking money he makes. It's eating him alive that there's actually someone bigger than him. It drove him nuts when me and Anthony were nipping at his heels. He couldn't take it. He's not even trying anymore. And the word is finally out. Chris Blanchard, do you think Howard pulled out his last 3 real hairs after yesterday's article? Oh, hell yeah. He can't handle that shit at all. And he's sitting there. He doesn't know what to do because they were very correct in that article. The only way he could fix what is happening to him and his audience and his show is to dig back in and start working hard again. He's got to stop with the horse shit, taking 1 million vacation days, working only 3 days a week when he's not on these long 2-3 week vacations. That's the only way he's going to turn this thing around. And you know what? He's not capable of doing that. So he's going to drive himself nuts. But then he expects not to really work and still be the biggest thing out there. And that's impossible. It doesn't hurt to have money, obviously, but you got to work on yourself. He can make 100 million for the next 10 years. He's still going to be a miserable person. Rosa Linen, here we go. You're obsessed. Pew, 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 Rosa. Pew, pew, pew. I'm not obsessed. I didn't think I was going to talk about Howard Stern today, Rosa, but it's a huge article in the New York Post that people ask me about it. Is that an obsession? I do hate the fucking guy's guts because of some of the horseshit he pulled, yes. I bet you if you were a big radio star, Rosa, and Howard pulled all sorts of bullshit behind the scenes and then said really shitty things about your dead dad, I bet you, Rosa, as a big radio star, would have just taken it, right? Go away. Look at Kit saying you're 1,000% authentic. I try to be. This guy says he's saying hi from Sweden. I don't believe it because you don't have any weird shit above your first name or last name. Those 2 dots. What does that mean? And Silk asking me if I'm bigger than Joe Rogan yet. You're obsessing, Silk. You're absolutely obsessing there, my brother. Nero Win. Oh, look, I'm just going to do this to stroke the ego. I'll be honest. Look at this. Opie fucking rules. I love it. Look at Rachel. There you go. We saw the gray sweatpants picture. We all know he's bigger than Rogan. I guarantee I got a bigger piece than Joe Rogan. So that's at least a start, right?